Hi, welcome to Leland Fly Fishing and Fly Tying Night tonight. I'm Brandon Moon, and today we're going to be introducing some Quill skins from Moonlit Fly Fishing, and we're going to use this to tie up a really cool PMD Soft Hackle using some synthetic quills from Semperfli. We're excited to get this pattern to you and hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Have a great day. So the hook that we're going to be using is the Moonlit Premium Tagata ML102. I'm tying this on a size 16 today. Typically, we like to tie our PMDs in a size 14 through 18. We're going to use Semperfli's Classic Wax 12/0 Primrose. We'll start that at about the 2/3 point, 3/4 point. I like about the 3/4 to give me a nice good body on this. We're going to start that and create a nice smooth taper all the way to the back, where I'm going to use about 4 to 6 strands of pheasant tail dyed in either a bleach or yellow, and I'm just going to make that and tie that in roughly about the length of the hook shank. Typically I like it to be just a little bit shorter than the length of the hook. We'll shorten that up since I wanted it a little bit shorter. I'm going to finish securing this down, and before I get all the way up to the front where my tie-in point, start point is, I'm going to trim out the pheasant tail so I can get a nice smooth even underbody. Finish securing that down. Now we're going to go back to the tail and that point there, laying a nice smooth underbody as usual. Before I get all the way to the back, I'm going to take a few wraps underneath that pheasant tail just to help pin that tail up just a little bit. Once we've done that, we're going to take Semperfli's clear perfect quill in a size small or size medium, and I'm going to tie that in. I want the sticky side tied to the point of the hook and the thread. Got that a little bit longer than the body of my fly here, so I'm going to take and trim that out. Then I'm going to just half hitch this in just a minute. We're going to create a little bit of a taper to this, so we're going to go forward and backwards about 2 or 3 times just to create a nice smooth taper to this fly. At the end of this taper, I want it to be nice and smooth to go over and give a nice even foundation for the synthetic quill so that it doesn't slip off. We'll half hitch that now, set that off to the side. Now we're going to wrap this body. I'm going to wrap this, making sure that the sticky side wraps up against the thread and the hook. And I'm going to create nice touching wraps so that you can see I'm getting that nice segmented quill bodied look here with nice even tapered spacings. We're going to wrap that all the way up to the thread point where we tied that in, making sure it doesn't slip. Here you can see that I have a little bit of a problem with it slipping, but I've already got the body of my fly that I need, so I'm just going to tie that off. Pull it back and go over the top of it just a little bit, set my thread off to the side, trim that out. Right there where that open bare spot is also going to be where I'm going to put my thorax anyway, so we're going to cover that up. Half hitch that. I'm going to put some UV resin on this just to give it that quill bodied effect and protect my synthetic quill. Even though it's synthetic, we want to protect it against sharp teeth from our fish. So I'll put a little bit of resin on top and on the bottom. I'm then going to take a bodkin and I'm just going to smooth that out. I don't want to put too much on here because I don't want to create too much bulk into the body of my fly. Once I've got that, I'm just going to rotate it a few times, smooth it out, and then use my UV pin to cure that up. Once that's cured up nice and good, we're going to take and add some dubbing in here. So I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to move it back to where my thorax needs to be there. I'm going to put a little bit of dubbing on. This is the Kapok in Danica, so it's a creamish yellow color. I'm just going to put a small amount in a nice tight dubbing noodle there. I'm going to apply that in that location for my thorax, making sure I don't crowd the eye of the hook so that I have room to wrap my hackle. I want just a little bit more, so I'm just going to add a little more. This is all personal preference. Now I'm going to take Moonlit's natural brown Quill, and I've already prepped this feather. This is down or up towards the neck for size 16 and smaller. I've already preened this feather so that it's prepped and ready to go. Now I'm going to pull that so that I have that tie-in point that I like on mine. I'll tie in that tie-in point here. I want this feather to lay kind of over the top of the back of that fly, and that's going to help me as I wrap my feathers lay back nice and neat. I'm going to trim out that tie-in point. Make sure I wrap over the top of it just to tighten it down, make sure it's nice and secure. I'm going to take my hackle tweezers, making sure I don't grab my pheasant tailing fibers there. Now I'm just going to wrap this, and each time I wrap I'm going to use the hackle stem and my fingers to help preen and palmer this hackle rearward so that I don't have so much to clean up at the end of wrapping my fly here. You can see I'm using the stem and my fingers to help push all those back before I get to the using thread to have to do that. Gives it a nice good look. Now once I've secured that down, I'm going to take and pull everything back and create a nice head base without crowding the eye of the hook. Pulling all those hackle fibers back rearward. Now we'll just take a whip finish tool and whip finish this with about 2 to 4 whip finishes. Snip that out with the snip tool on our whip finish tool. Now I'm going to take some hackle pliers. I like the Loon ergonomical ones for this, or you can use your fingers. I like the pliers because it gives me a good ability to grip something really tiny. I'm going to use a razor blade and trim out that hackle stem. You can see I've got a nice clean finish here. Just for durability purposes, I'll pull the hackle fibers back and put just a little bit of Loon head cement on there just to help secure that knot. And there you have the PMD Quill Body Soft Hackle. You can pull and preen any of those hackle fibers you like. Have a good evening.